For 50 years, you could walk onto a field in Texas, pay $25, and dig up whatever you wanted. Bring your own shovel, keep what you find, and for 50 years, nobody digging that field had the faintest idea they were standing on top of the single strangest archaeological discovery in North American history. Stick around, because this one doesn't end the way you think. The field is near Florence, Texas, 30 acres of pasture along a creek. In the 1940s, a family called the Lindsays turned it into a pay-to-dig site, the same setup as those gem mines you can rent a shovel at today. Totally legal, totally normal, except this particular dirt happened to be sitting on top of one of the richest archaeological deposits on the continent. For half a century, people hauled it away in coffee cans. Then in 1991, a digger pulls up a stone he can't identify. Not an arrowhead, not a tool, fine geometric lines, cut deliberately into rock by someone. Word gets to an archaeologist named Michael Collins at the University of Texas. He drives out, and what he finds isn't just the engraved stones, it's a Clovis spear point, the artifact type that, for almost a century, marked the official beginning of humans in the Americas. His exact word for the site: flabbergasted. Here's the problem. It's private land. It's an active pay-to-dig operation. And it's not his. Knowing what the field was turned out to be the easy part, 1998, Collins gets a lease. 3 years. He digs. He finds more Clovis material. He proves people lived on that creek bank for thousands of years. Then the lease runs out. So he fills the hole back in. A meters-deep excavation, buried again, by the one man on earth who knows exactly what's still down there. And he goes home. No villain here. No cover-up. No conspiracy. Just a lease that expired, and the most important site in Texas quietly goes back to being a cow pasture. 9 more years pass. 2007, Collins and his wife Karen buy the field, with their own money, at real personal cost. And then they give it away, immediately, to a nonprofit, so it can never be sold, dug for sport, or paved over. 16 years. From a phone call to owning the land, to not owning the land just so he could finally do the one thing he'd been waiting to do this whole time. Keep digging. Here's the detail that matters. Collins had worked at Monte Verde in Chile in the 1980s, the site that shattered the old theory that Clovis people were the first humans in the Americas. He'd seen the dates. He believed them. So when his team at the new site dug straight through the Clovis layer and hit a bed of clay that every textbook said was sterile, he didn't stop digging. That's the moment the entire field of American archaeology had stopped. For decades, nothing was supposed to be under that clay, so nobody funded digging through it. He dug through it anyway. They've now excavated 15 separate areas of this site. 3% of the property has produced 2.6 million artifacts. Not 2,600, not 26,000. 2.6 million objects from 3% of 30 acres. In 2002, they open a new section. Underneath the Clovis layer, they pull out roughly 150,000 more artifacts, tools, blades, 10 projectile points sitting next to the bones of Ice Age horses and mammoths. And in the middle of it, a human-made surface. The floor of a structure, at least 15,000 years old. They date it using a technique that measures the last time a grain of sand saw sunlight. The average result, 18,500 years old. Some samples reach past 20,000. Published in Science Advances, 2018. But here's the sentence that should actually stop you. The lead scientist on that paper didn't say the tools were just older. He said they don't look like anything else ever found. Not older Clovis. Not a variation. Not a missing link. Something with no relatives at all anywhere in North or South America. Archaeologists gave this collection a placeholder name, which is really just the professional way of saying, we don't know what this is. There is a group of people who lived on this creek bank over 15,000 years ago, and archaeology does not currently have a name for their culture. Now, the skeptics have a real point, and it's worth saying out loud. The dates aren't perfectly clean. One sample near the top actually came back older than samples underneath it. That's not what a tidy timeline is supposed to look like. And a mile away on the same creek, sits another pre-Clovis site with dates from 2011. Nobody has ever published a direct comparison between the two. 4 human teeth have come out of the ground here. No bones, no burial, no skeleton to settle the argument. So what did the team do after uncovering the strangest tool collection in American prehistory? They stopped, filled it back in, on purpose. Their reasoning: 97% of the site is still in the ground, untouched, and the archaeologists working this field in 40 years will have tools nobody today can even imagine. Digging it all up now would waste the evidence forever. Today, if you visit, you see a grass field next to a creek. No excavation, no dig plan. For 50 years, people paid $25 a day to carry pieces of this place away in their pockets. Today, it belongs to no one, and the people with every right to dig it are choosing not to. The oldest object anyone has found there has no name, no known relatives, and no one left alive who can claim it. It's staying in the ground until someone earns it. I don't have an ending for this story, because it hasn't happened yet. The rest of that field opens the day somebody builds a method good enough to deserve it. I want to be there when they do. For 50 years, you could walk onto a field in Texas, pay $25, and dig up whatever you wanted. Bring your own shovel, keep what you find. And for those 50 years, nobody digging that field had any idea they were standing on top of the strangest archaeological discovery in North American history. The field is near Florence, Texas. 30 acres of pasture along a creek. In the 1940s, a family called the Lindsays turned it into a pay-to-dig site. Same setup as a gem mine you can rent a shovel at today. Totally legal. It just happened to sit on one of the richest archaeological deposits on the continent, and for 50 years, people hauled it away in coffee cans. Then in 1991, a digger pulls up a stone he can't identify, find geometric lines cut deliberately into rock. Word reaches an archaeologist named Michael Collins. He drives out and finds a Clovis spear point, the artifact that for a century marked the official start of humans in the Americas. His word for it: flabbergasted. Problem is, it's private land, an active dig for pay operation, and none of it is his. What follows is 16 years, a 3-year lease in 1998 that produces more finds than expires, so he fills the hole back in with his own hands and drives home. No villain, no cover-up, just a lease running out. 9 years later, in 2007, Collins and his wife buy the field with their own money and immediately give it away to a nonprofit, so it can never be sold or paved over. 16 years just to make sure he could keep digging. And he kept digging because of something in his past. He'd worked at Monte Verde in Chile, the site that broke the old theory of who came first to the Americas. So when his team hit a layer of clay every textbook called sterile, he didn't stop. He dug through the wall the whole field had stopped at for decades.